Next up, we poke, prod, drive and argue about an important new car for our fifth gear team test.
Today, the team tested the new Hyundai i40 Tourer. Costing between £18,000 and £26,000, this is Hyundai's first ever attempt at a big posh estate car.
I do not like these bulbous, bug-eyed lamps. What is the point of them sticking out so much?
Maybe it's something to do with safety. I don't know. Anyway, it looks pig ugly.
Every styling detail is like an exaggeration.
To be fair, it probably is a bit over-egged. I mean, they're putting an awful lot of effort into that car. Big curve, big curve, big curve.
Johnny flipping went off on one about how fabulous the curves were. Our resident dog, Tiff Nadell, hopped into the back to check out the boot space, as he does.
He didn't fit in as nicely as he thought.
I like a little lip
Your
there.
lip, why?
So things that the oranges don't fall out.
When has that man ever been to a supermarket?
Everyone takes the mickey out of stuff like Volvo V70s, but people buy them because you've got all of this space here. This suffers from that problem where they cut off the back end a little bit to make it more sporty, because they don't want to call it an estate, they call it a Tourer. This really should be up here more. It semi-ruins the point of owning an estate car.
Johnny got very excited about all the shapes.
There's a lot of curves, just like the outside. Tons of curves, look at this.
I've got quite good space here, boys.
I was lounging around in the back seat.
Oh, now look at that.
Double splitter.
Double splitter. That's like a theatre curtain. Oh, my goodness, that is quite cool. Well, maybe it's going to be just nuts on the road.
We let Johnny have a little treat today. We allowed him to drive the Hyundai.
It doesn't feel massively quick, I have to admit.
It takes over 10 seconds to get to 62. Like,
Yeah.
that's a big cut.
My foot's completely on the mat right now.
Johnny took to the helm and actually did rather a good job.
Oh, I really don't like being a passenger.
It feels a little bit like you're nailing a minibus. Didn't understeer nearly as much as I thought. Good steering response. I was pretty pleased with it.
To test the build quality, we conducted a very scientific experiment.
So we put the Hyundai up against one of its main rivals, the Skoda Superb.
The Skoda costs about the same as the Hyundai and is our benchmark for interior quality. Someone came up with a ridiculous idea of putting blindfolds on to test the build quality, as if I couldn't do that with my eyes open.
Then I'd spun them around and popped them into a vehicle each.
Protect your head. Perfect.
That they could have a little session with their hands and materials all by themselves.
That's very shiny and feels a bit chintzy for my liking.
It's all quite a smooth fascia.
Your senses were definitely heightened, and you could feel the subtle differences between the two cars.
There's a nice weight to the knobs.
No, I don't like that knob much.
The experiment did make you think about tactile surfaces,
Stalks, all right?
which is what interiors are all about, you know, the feel of switches and that kind of thing. If I do this...
I get sprayed.
Oh, did I just spray you? I'm immensely sorry.
Oh, I found a slidey thing.
In truth, it was quite easy to differentiate the two. I'm sure that that's Volkswagen Audi Group fluid.
I thought it performed pretty well in that test. In some areas it was better than the Skoda Superb,
That's clearly PVC.
and in others it wasn't quite so good.
Don't like those pedals, they're horrible.
The Hyundai is very good. It's not as good as the Skoda Superb, though. This is definitely the Korean car.
Overall, it didn't quite match the Superb. It was a close second.
But how does it score overall? The only problem with the Hyundai i40 is that it's not any cheaper than a Ford Mondeo.
That car needs to be significantly cheaper, really.
If it was 18 grand, it would be brilliant. I'd give it an 8, 9 out of 10.
It only gets 3.
I'm going to give the i40 Tourer a 6.
Because of its price and everything else that I've said, I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10.
The i40 Tourer's styling and build quality would be perfectly acceptable if only it was a little cheaper. It earns a team test score of 14 out of 30.